In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create this button animation using only HTML and CSS. I'm gonna create this glass background and gradient effect. And I'm gonna walk you through every step. So let's get into it. In the project folder, we're gonna create a index.html file and a style.css. And once you create them, create the boilerplate in the HTML, link the style sheet, and open this file with LiveServer. First, we're going to create a anchor tag, and inside this anchor tag, we're going to have two divs. The first one is going to be the button, and right under it, we're going to have another div for the gradient background. And this one is going to be empty. And that is it with the HTML. In the CSS file, first we're going to set a font. You can choose whatever font you want. I'm going to use Poppins. And let's reset the margin and padding. And let's select the body and make it cover the whole page using minimum height 100 VH, and set the background color to this black color. And let's center the text using display flags, align items center, and justify content center. Now the anchor tag, we're gonna make it position relative because the background gradient that we are going to create in a second is going to be positioned relatively to this anchor tag. And for the hover effect, we're going to create this little transition here. And when you hover over it, we're going to make it move 2 pixels at the top and 2 pixels to the left using transform translate. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it works well. And this button itself, let's select it. Gonna increase the font weight to 500. Create a little border radius. Padding 0.75 for the top and the bottom, and 1.5 for the sides. And now we're gonna create that glass effect. So background color is going to be a transparent white. Let's make it 0.3. And we're gonna use a blur effect as well. And we're also gonna use a little amount of box shadow just to create that 3D effect. We're gonna decrease the transparency to 0.1. And to complete the hover effect, we're gonna move this button as well, just like we did the anchor tag. So let's add transform translate. This is going to be 0, and we're going to change this later using hover effect. Let's make the cursor pointer as well. And now when I hover over it, the cursor turns into pointer and basically indicates that this is something clickable. And the same amount of transition for the hover effect. And now the gradient part. Gonna make it position absolute, and it is going to be positioned relative to this anchor tag because it is a child element of the anchor tag. And for the background, we're gonna use linear gradient, and I'm gonna copy and paste the color in here. If you want to use the same, just pause the video and use the same colors. And the reason why we are not seeing this right now, because this div doesn't have a size and it is empty. Now we're gonna do something weird. Gonna set the top 0 and bottom 0, left and right 0. And this is basically going to match the size of this div to this anchor tag. And we're gonna push it back using z-index -1. And we're gonna use the same amount of border radius as well. and we're gonna move it towards bottom and to right using transform translate. Let's move it 0.5 rem. And finally, the hover effects for the button. We're gonna move it using transform translate, and we're gonna move it to top 2 pixels and to left 2 pixels, and that should be it. As you can see, it works well. We have the glass effect and the gradient. You can play around with this if you want. You can change the colors, you can change the transparency of this background. And that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.